time I was up here, I thanked everybody except for my boyfriend. And I thanked him as my manager, but not him personally. And as soon as I got off stage, I immediately regretted it, wanted to run back up stage and pull a Kanye. I didn't. You're welcome. So to avoid doing that, I'm going to start with my thank yous. Dennis is my rock because this job is not easy, not mentally, not physically, certainly not emotionally on a daily basis. There are so many peaks and valleys in this business that it's important to have someone to keep you on the level, to remind you of the big picture, which is what he does. Get over here, you're too far away. I've literally put blood, sweat, and tears into my business over the last year. Don't even ask about the blood, I'm okay. But he's been here for me through all of it. He supports me by making sure my tires and oil are good before I go on work trips, loading and unloading my car with all of the stuff that we use. He hides cute notes in my suitcase, and he takes care of our dogs and home when I'm gone. He tells me to take a break when he can see I'm pushing myself too hard, and then he also fires me up when I'm low. Most importantly, though, he celebrates with me, and that's my favorite part. The difference between, and I'm saying this from experience, the difference between Agent of the Year and Personal Producer is support, so really I owe much of this to Dennis. In addition to Dennis, the boyfriend, I want to thank Dennis, the manager. Dennis has a lot of expertise and has helped me to grow and appreciate the long game of this business, which is people. Regional Manager Tucker Doucette and my state manager Michael Hogan, who are both younger than me but have been big brothers. I really appreciate you guys. Can't put it into words. You know what that means. I also need to thank my DVP, Todd Lauer. Todd was one of my bridge trainers along with Joey Grimaldi, and not only did they both help set the foundation for my career, but Todd challenges me and everyone else around him to look at things from a more positive perspective. All of these men have been there for me when I needed them. Thanks, baby. And throwing their might behind any issue to get it resolved quickly, and it does not go unnoticed. Tom Blackburn is someone else who does a lot behind the scenes and deserves recognition. I don't know where you are, Tom. Tommy B. Thank you for always helping me figure out how to get things done and providing answers when nobody else can. I also want to thank Wayne, Leslie, and Rhonda for all the detective work you do and value you provide for me to help keep my clients happy. Thank you to everybody at Wiz as well. You guys are the true unsung heroes and the grease that keeps the machine moving on a daily basis. Tonight, I'm being acknowledged because of the number of production that represents the revenue I earned for the company in 2022. When I look at that number, I don't see money though. I see the days themselves and all the millions of little things stacked on top of each other to bring me to this pinnacle. I see the flat tires I had to fix in towns I'm not familiar with on the fly just to get back on the road as soon as I can and keep my appointments. I see wake times so early even my dogs don't want to get up, and start times for night shifts so late it's almost another day. I'm haunted by what feels like a million brochures to stuff and stamp. There's also 3 months straight on the road where I'm living out of a suitcase away from my family and eating every meal alone. The number reflects me finding a professional way to direct someone's attention to the benefits when they're being creeps. You ladies know what I'm talking about. There's the client sharing their worst day with me when they get a cancer diagnosis and need to file a claim, and the joyful times when proud parents call to add their baby to their growing family's policies. This number reminds me of all of the kitchen tables I sat around and talked shit at, as well as all the donuts that I peddled. It reflects me helping someone who isn't my client resolve their issue because it's the right thing to do. The number represents me asking more of myself than I ever did from others. It's a representation of autonomy. It represents the pressure I put on myself to answer and return messages in a timely fashion and put solutions into action almost immediately, because I would get anxious with having something to do on my to-do list. It's a great quality to be responsive, although I am learning to set boundaries because going balls to the wall all the time leads to burnout. No beef surprise there. It's near impossible to help other people effectively, which is what we're trying to do if you're pouring from an empty cup. My accomplishments are the summation of one full year in Florida, which I moved to when I took a leap of faith and left everything comfortable behind. I see the strength it took for me to focus on what I wanted to build instead of what I was going to leave behind. And ultimately, I decided not to let fear run my choices. I've been called confident by others, and that's something that always makes me chuckle because I don't consider myself to be the most confident person or the bravest. I view my confidence rather as indifference. I'm indifferent to failure. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's gonna go well, it's gonna go well, but I can't help but show up and just try my best every day. The worst things that have ever happened in my life never happened at work, so I'm not afraid of it. A few things that can make me feel amazing and when someone tells me I have been doing is when someone says, you must have been doing this a long time because I explain my presentation so well. Or when someone says, wow, you work really hard because they've seen me at the same location at all odd hours all the time, in every nook and cranny and every shift, leaving no stone unturned. Hearing things like that always stops me in my tracks because I'm also my own worst critic. When I believe it's super important to have a sense of self-worth that comes from inside, I remind myself that our insides can lie to us and to take the compliments as truths and build upon that. The worst place for me to be at any given time is in my head, and it's easy to get wrapped in wondering how people perceive you, if your joke landed, and to get so nervous about it all that you don't even try. Don't make excuses so that you can back out. Like fear, arrogance can do that to you too. Just assuming something is yours or it's in the bag or it'll be handed to you means you're not putting in your full effort. So when I look at this number, I see the number of times it would have been easy to quit, call it a day, or not even try, but I didn't. I didn't quit because I absolutely fell in love with what we do. We get to grow to become experts in our field because some things never change, and that gives us a foothold to hold on to. I love being on the move to different locations every week or sometimes every day. We get to see a bit of the world and meet all the people. And that's always something I knew I wanted but couldn't put into words. And that's the reason why we say, do good, do well, have fun. The reality is that I've had to change my mindset about a lot of things to make the effort that I have. It's taken time for me to turn what was once self-criticism into self-reflection so that I can become something positive. I love to read. 2 books that I've read the last year that made an impact on me are The 5 Secrets You Must Discover Before You Die by John Izzo and Sell It Like Sirhan by Ryan Serhant. There will always be growing pains and curveballs and areas of opportunity for improvement. In hindsight, I believe each time I kept going and that I didn't die, obviously, that little extra stretch became my new normal, and then I could go a little further until I got here. My advice to you is simple. Don't be a show pony, be a workhorse. Thank you.